Let's start the today's session. Today we are going to talk about Hive sharding. So in the previous session, we have been discussing about HBase, Hive, and everything. Okay. So in the Hive, we have seen what is actually the Hive and what it is meant for in the Hadoop infrastructure or in the Hadoop system. And we have discussed about Hive architecture. Okay, Hive QL or HQL, the query language, right? So everything we have discussed in the previous class, and even we discussed about join, different types of join in the previous session. So in this session, our main focus is to discuss about Hive sharding. So Hive sharding is one of the concept mainly used in Hive environment, okay, to manage with all sort of data. Okay, so as you know, the Hive is a kind of data warehousing infrastructure tool which is used in the Hadoop environment. Okay, moreover, the Hive is using structured data, right? Mostly the Hive environment is using, that is the data warehousing environment. It uses the structured data, and again, whatever the data is stored in the Hive, it uses the HDFS file format. But whatever the data or whatever the metadata and then the data related data and everything will be saved in the RDBMS table. Okay. So here, one more thing about the Hive. The Hive is using a column style data model. Okay, that means the column style we have discussed when we talk about the HBase. The column style, it is actually the concept inherited from the big table. Okay, it is a clone of big table. That means whatever the data you are going to store will be in the form of a very big size table. Okay, that means whenever we save data in the RDBMS related to softwares, there we are going to save the entire data in the table format. But same kind of structure or the model we are going to use in the Hive environment, where the only thing is, we'll be dealing with a very high volume of data, so that we need a kind of big tables. Okay, so massive volume, the table which can store massive amount of data. Okay, but again, whatever the data you are going to store will be in the form of table only. Okay, in the Hive environment. Okay, so it is actually the data warehousing infrastructure tool where you can get data from different sources. Okay, that is what we have discussed in the previous class. And here in the Hive environment, it is sharding is, to simply understand what it means by sharding, it is a partition. Okay, so the big table environment or in the Hive environment, whatever the data you are going to deal with, so those data should be stored and maybe splitted or divided and should be saved in multiple servers or multiple clusters. Okay, as you know, we are all talking about the cluster environment, okay, or in the distributed computing environment. Okay, so here the Hadoop mainly or the big data environment is mainly preferred to use in the cluster type of environment or the distributed type of environment. Okay, so you're not going to have all the data in one single machine and then you are not going to use it. Okay, so instead you'll be using a complete distributed computing environment where the data will be running in multiple locations or in the distributed servers. Okay, so in the different locations the data will be used, right? So then when you are dealing with the distributed computing or the cluster type of execution environment, where we need to store the data or distributed data in different places, right? So here, when you have a huge volume of data and the entire data should be divided or to be partitioned. Okay, so that particular process we call it as a sharding, right? So the word shard means a small part of a whole, right? So suppose if you store the huge volume of data in the big table format, and this big table should be divided, and a small part of your big table can be considered as your sharding. Okay, so here a database shard is a horizontal partition of data in a database or search engine. So mostly the Hive is preferred to use horizontal partitioning. You know what I mean by horizontal partitioning? The horizontal partitioning, you will be partitioning the entire table in the row wise, okay, not in the column wise, right? So when you say horizontal partitioning, you'll be dividing the number of columns or the number of attributes of a table into multiple tables, right? So here we are talking about horizontal partitioning, where a single table, the entire set of rows can be splitted or can be partitioned and can be placed in multiple servers or the multiple execution environment or the processing unit, and you can use it. Okay, so here when you split the entire table into horizontal partitioning, maybe in the RDBMS related terms, we can call it as a tuple. Okay, the tuples are otherwise called as a group of records. Okay, when you partition a table, then when you in the horizontal partitioning, maybe you will be getting a tuples. Okay, a set of records, we can call it. Okay, so here the same style of partitioning is preferred in the Hive environment, where your entire big table is being split into small horizontal partitioning, right? Then see here of a data, maybe here you are using in the database server or the database or the search engine, and each individual partition is referred to as a shared or database shared. So either way you can simply call this a shared or a database shared, right? So each shared is held on a separate database server instance to spread the load. That means the entire big table is been split into horizontal partitioning. So it's been split into number of shards, and each shards will be loaded into different database server. Different database server in the sense the execution unit. Okay, so you'll be having cluster or number of execution unit, and this execution unit will be loaded with the number of shard. Okay, for example, if you create a table and then the table is been split into 10 shards, all the 10 shards will be loaded into available number of database servers. Suppose we have 5 database server to be loaded, all the 10 shards, and this will be evenly splitted, and again you will see the load balancing there. Okay, so it will be evenly splitted and evenly stored in different database server, right? So then this is what the description, what is actually the sharding. Sharding is a type of database partitioning that separates very large databases into smaller, faster, more easily managed parts called data shards. Okay, so here it is very simple concept. When you have a large databases, that's what we said, it is a big table. Okay, it will be in the form of big table. This big table will be split into smaller, faster, and more easily managed. Okay, so as you know, when you go for splitting the entire big table, and even you can process it very fastly, as well as you can manage the entire table very easily, right? So it is very easy to understand. If you have a very big table, then whatever the query you are using, the query has to be used in all the set of records that is available in the big table. For example, your table consists of 1 lakh records. Okay, all the 1 lakh record, whatever the query you are giving, that query should be used, right? So but when you are splitting the 1 lakh record into for example 1,000 records or 10,000 records or 5,000 records as a simple partition, and maybe you can narrow down to the exact data which is present in the particular shard or a particular partition. Okay, so the processing time you can minimize at the maximum, right? So this is what is some of the introduction about the sharding. So now let's discuss what exactly is the sharding from this particular diagram. And here you have the table. In the table you have a shard key. Maybe a column value can be taken as your shard key. There are 3 columns are given, and you have about 5 records. Okay, so here there are different types of sharding we are going to discuss. One of the sharding method is hash function. Using the hash function, you are going to make a shard. Okay, make a partition. And here you, based on the hash function, you'll be dividing the column into different values. That is, you are taking the column value and you are making it as a hash value. Here the hash value generated is 1212. Okay, so that means all the 1 will be placed in shard 1 and all the 2 will be placed in the shard 2, right? So you can see here A1, B2, C1, D2, right? So hash values are 1 2 1 2, right? Then here it comes shard 1 This is partition 1, and here you have the column AC, right? So it is based on the hash value. This shard is been splitted, right? And then the based on the hash value here, 2 is with B and D, and this shard is having based on the hash value. This particular shard is been splitted. Okay, then so what is the term we are using, right? So partitioning also we are using, and sharding also we are using. So what exactly the difference between partitioning and sharding, right? So when you are going to split or divide your table within a single database instance, then you can call this a partition, right? That is, divide the data between multiple tables within one database instance, right? You'll be having only one database instance, and you will be dividing the multiple tables, right? And then suppose if you say the sharding, divide the data between multiple tables created in separate database instance. Okay, if you are creating multiple tables in single database instance, that is called the partitioning, right? So all the table or all the partitions will be residing in one single database instance. Okay, suppose if you are splitting the partitions in multiple separate database instances, that will be running in different database server. Okay, you can see here the X is one shard which is actually running in shard 1, and Y is the another partition which is running in the another database server, and Z is the another shard which is running in the another database partition or another database server. Okay, but whereas here X, Y, Z, all the three partitions are running in a single database instance. Okay, so that's what the key difference between partitioning and sharding. Maybe you would have studied about partitioning in RDBMS concept, but here we are using a new terminology, sharding. Okay, so this is what the key difference between the partitioning and sharding. But moreover, for our understanding, we'll be using the term partitioning. Okay, and so what is actually a sharding? So Apache Hive organizes table into partitions, and partitions is the way of dividing table into related parts based on the values of particular column, like date and city and department. Maybe in the previous example you have seen, we have taken one particular column and we try to divide the table in the horizontal way, right? So this is one way of you can do the partitioning. Maybe you can based on your table column values, you can take any particular column value or more than one column value, and you can apply some different strategies to divide your table. Okay, so each table in the Hive can have one or more partition keys to identify a particular partition. Using partition, it is easy to do queries on slices of the data, because the entire data is been divided into small slices. So it will be very easy for you to use your queries. Okay, and why is the sharding is important? So why don't you use the entire big table in a single database server, right? So as you know, the HDFS as well as the Hadoop environment is using or executing in the multiple cluster environment. Okay, so there will be multiple execution units will be there, and then processing units will be there. Okay, so because in the big data, we are from the starting we are talking about we are dealing with a huge volume of data, right? That means petabyte of data you are going to deal with in the big data environment, as well as in the Hadoop also. You'll be saving the entire data or entire information in the form of HDFS. Okay, so when you have the tremendous or huge volume of data, it will be very difficult for a particular system to process. Okay, so here, so it is very difficult for the Hadoop users to query this huge amount of data. That's what I already told you. So when you have here data in the very big table or in a very massive way, and it will be very tedious to get the exact data, right? So by using the query, even processing your query will also take very much longer time, right? So because maybe if you are processing the very huge volume of data with a particular query, the query has to analyze and then process, search the entire set of data. Okay, so obviously that will take more amount of time. So that when you are going for this type of sharding, you can minimize the time, right? Then so this particular concept or sharding concept, it actually overcomes this particular issue, right? So you can write your query and you can easily do your work in the Hadoop environment. Okay, so Apache Hive converts the SQL queries into MapReduce job and then submit to the Hadoop cluster. This we have discussed in the Hive architecture. That is, whatever the HiveQL query you are sending, so that will be converted into the MapReduce, and then this MapReduce is submitting to the Hadoop and then HDFS. Okay, so HBase also we are using. HBase or the Hadoop will be saving the data, right? And here it becomes inefficient to run MapReduce job over a large table. Suppose if the table size is very huge, and working on the MapReduce job will be very, very tedious, right? So even if you're running the entire data in multiple clusters or the multiple server, then the MapReduce job will be tedious, right? So resolve creating partitions in tables. So that's why we go for partitioning the entire table into smaller number, right? So it is again makes the job of implementing partitions very easy by creating partitions by its automatic partition scheme at the time of table creation. There are two different partitions we are going to discuss. But moreover, whenever you use Hive, the partition or the sharding will be done automatically, right? Then how to make the sharding here? To create the data partitioning in Hive, maybe you can use this particular command, HiveQL query, create table name, and then all the column 1 data type and column 2 data type, all the column. And then this is the keyword partitioned by, and then what is the partition 1 data type and partition 2 data type. Okay, so something like this, you can write a query and you can make a sharding or partition in the Hive environment. Okay, but again, you can see here the term we are using is sharding, but in the keyword you can see it is partitioned by. Okay, so again they are using only the partition by. So maybe this is actually derived from the your SQL statement. Okay, we already said this. All your mostly your all your HiveQL and then HQL queries is based on your SQL queries. Okay, so let's discuss a simple example here. The file system file1 contains the client table. That is, this is actually the path tab1 client data file1. Okay, so here you can see the columns are ID, name, department, year of joining, YOJ, right? And see here there are 4 records are given, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then some name is given, and then department is also given, and the year of joining also given. Okay, 2009, 2009, and 2010 and 2010. Okay, so there are 2 records with year of joining 2009, and then there are 2 records with year of joining 2010. So now this is a very simple small example. So how the partition is done, to understand how the partition is done in the Hive. So here you can see this tab 1 client data 2009 file 2. Okay, and then file 3. You are going to split the this particular set of record or this particular set of table into different table. Okay, so this one is the first one, the based on the year 2009, there are 2 records are splitted, and again the next one based on the year 2010, then there are 2 furthermore records are splitted. Okay, so you can see here in the original table 2009, and here 2010 and 2010. Okay, so based on this query, so you are going to split the entire table into a different partition. Okay, so now this is actually the horizontal partitioning. Okay, so you are partitioning the first given table into horizontal partitioning. First 2 records will be in one shard, and then the second, that is 3rd and 4th record will be in the second shard, right? So there are 2 shards are splitted from the given input file. Okay, so how you can do how you can write this write a query for this. So sharding, create table, and then what is the table name, the first column, second column, and 3rd column and 4th column partitioned by year string. Okay, so year of joining is given integer, but again you are going to split the entire table with the value year string. Based on the year, you are going to split the partition. Okay, so here load data local in path. This is the HiveQL query. This is how you can write a query to for sharding, right? So load data local. So actually it is doing the local sharding, right? Suppose if you want to do it in the remote or in the server other location shared, you have to give the path here. Okay, load the data local in path, and then tab 1 client data 2009 file 2. 2009 is the year. Okay, based on this value you are going to a partition, make the partition. That's what here it is given, year string. Okay, so this year is taken as for your partitioning value. Then it is actually now overwrite into table student type partition and then year 2009. And then similarly for the next partition or the next sharding, tab 1 client data 2010 file 3 and then overwrite into table. So why we are using overwrite into table, this you are going to create a new table, that is new partition here. So whatever, if suppose if any data is there, then you are going to delete the data and you are going to overwrite it. Okay, so here student tab and partition year 2010, right? So in this way you can give the query for sharding. And what are the types of shardings are available, right? So there are basically two types of sharding or partitioning in the Apache Hive. It is available in the Apache Hive. One is static partitioning and another one is dynamic partitioning. Okay, so now I hope you will be able to, you have understood what in by sharding and how you can do the sharding in the Hive, right? So when you are performing the sharding in the Hive environment, so it is actually performing automatic sharding is also there, right? So otherwise you can do some static type of partitioning or static sharding or dynamic sharding. So first we'll discuss about what is Hive static partitioning. Okay, so here in this static partitioning, whatever the table or whatever the partitions you are going to create, so that will be almost fixed. Okay, so based on the input value or based on the data that you are going to feed, that will not mostly will not change. Okay, that is insert input data files individually into partition table is static partitioning. So each and every data that is individual, you are going to store it in the individually into the partition table, and that we call as a static partitioning. And usually when loading files into Hive table, static partitions are preferred. Okay, the commonly the Hive will prefer the static table, that is static partitioning. And this static partitioning is actually saving your time to load compared to the dynamic partitioning. We can alter the partition in the static partition, right? So even it is possible to change or alter anything in the static partitioning. And how you can do the static partitioning here. Okay, this is how you have to set the property in the XML file that is in your Hive environment, that is hive-site.xml. Okay, so in this XML document, you will be having a property, this type of property. Okay, so this is actually property setting, set hive.marped.mode equal to strict. Okay, that means you are preferring a static partitioning. Okay, so we otherwise called as a static partition in the strict mode. Okay, so you can perform the static partition on Hive, manage table or external table, right? So this how your in the static partitioning, you are making the Hive table to be strict on the data, that is what are the partition you are doing, so that will be working in the strict mode. Okay, so this was the one of the type of sharding we have in the Hive. And the next type of sharding is Hive dynamic partitioning. So it is just somewhat different from the static. Here the partitioning will be done dynamically, right? So based on the number of input table and number of records that you are creating, so here the table will be created dynamically, right? So here the single insert to partition table is known as dynamic partitioning. That is usually dynamic partition loads the data from the non-partition table. Okay, suppose if the non-partition table in the sense the main table. Okay, so whenever the data is keep on increasing in the main table or in your source table, and you'll be getting the data from the source table dynamically, and you will be creating the partitioning dynamically, right? So as you know, in the real-time environment, even if you use the big table or in the column, like in the that is whatever the data you are dealing, so those data will be keep on accumulating. Okay, so the number of the volume of data will be keep on accumulating in the real-time environment. Okay, so in that type of environment, when you allow the dynamic partitioning, so in the dynamic partitioning, whenever any new data comes in to your original table, so automatically based on the partitioning, based on the type of partitioning you are doing, so automatically sharding will be created. Okay, so that's what, based on the number of records and number of the volume of data that is generated, based on that you will be providing the dynamic partitioning. Okay, so when you have the large data stored in a table, then dynamic partition is suitable. Okay, so it is so obvious that you will be dealing a huge volume of data in the real-time environment when you're using big data, right? So mostly by the dynamic partition will be preferred in the real-time environment. Okay, so if you want to partition number of columns, but if you don't know how many columns, then also dynamic partition is suitable. That means maybe if you prefer to split the column also in the different clusters, column in the sense that is the preference of selecting the number of attributes in a table. Okay, so that is also you can decide, right? So how many number of attributes or how many number of columns can be available in a particular partition, so that is also you can decide, right? So we cannot perform alter on dynamic partition. So once the dynamic partition is started, it is just going to save the entire set of data in the different shard. So in that case, it is very difficult for you to alter the table content. That is, schema cannot be changed during the processing, right? So you can perform dynamic partition on Hive external table and managed table. So whatever the source table or the external table is there, and then whatever the shared table is there, you can perform the dynamic partition. Okay. Again, the dynamic partition, it will be working on the non-strict mode, whereas in the static partitioning, it will be working in the strict mode. Okay, so and so what are the merits and demerits of your sharding? Okay, so there are some advantages and disadvantages are there in the sharding. So first we'll talk about the advantages. So the partitioning in Hive distribute execution load horizontally. That's what we already said. Whenever you deal with massive amount of data in the Hive environment, obviously the Hive will be using your data in the table format. Okay, so dealing with the entire set of data will be very difficult. So if you are going for partitioning, you can use it very easily, right? So you can execute the load horizontally very easily, as well as you can process your query very easily, right? So in partition, fast execution of queries with low volume of data takes place. So as maybe we set the same example. When you have more number of records in a table, and executing a particular query will take more time. Okay, suppose if you are partitioning based on some condition, you have partition and you have very less number of records and then very less volume of data, and processing your query will be somewhat easier, right? So these are the main advantages we have, right? So you can see the example. So searching the population from Mumbai city returns very fast instead of searching the entire world population, right? So maybe when you have the entire world population in a big table format, so this big table format is been divided into different shard based on the major cities in the all over the world. Okay, so in that sense, the Mumbai city will be having a one shard, and whereas this Mumbai city shard will be having very less amount of data compared to the world population data. Okay, so working on very less amount of data, which is Mumbai city data, will be somewhat easier than working on the entire world population data. Okay, so in this way you can understand this, right? And then the next one is the Hive partitioning. What is the disadvantage in the partitioning? That is, there is possibility of too many small partition creations, too many directories. So one more type of sharding we have, directory based sharding. And here when suppose if you do the dynamic partitioning based on certain conditions, there is a possibility for creating too many small shard. Okay, so when you have very too many small shard, and it will be very difficult, or it will be it will somewhat somewhat difficult to process, or it will take more time, right? Maybe for the query processing will should be performed unnecessarily, right? So there should be no frequent query processing should be done when you have very small partitions, right? So then the partition is effective for low volume of data, but there is some queries group by on high volume data take a long time to execute. Suppose if you have huge volume of queries, or volume of records there, suppose if you perform group by, okay, or order by, some of the clauses will take much time. Okay, for example, if you have 1 lakh records, and then again if you perform the group by clause in your query, definitely it will take much time. Okay, suppose if you the records are very less in number, and performing the group by, order by, and kind of sorting in your query will take very lesser time. Okay, so the same example here, grouping population of China will take long time as compared to the grouping of population in the Vatican City. So the Vatican City or some other any city you can take will be having very less number of records, very less number of population, and when you take the entire country population will be more. Okay, suppose we are performing some this type of the partitioning with this particular query or class, group by or sort by or order by, okay, something like that, right? So that will take more time. Okay, so we already discussed the Hive is supporting horizontal partitioning, where you are going to split your entire table into a set of rows or set of tuples, and as well as the Hive is also supporting vertical sharding. See here in this vertical sharding, instead of horizontal, what we will do, we'll split the table in the vertical format, that is in the column wise or the attribute wise. So you can see in this example, this is actually your original database. You have the user table, user name and user email is there, and in the vertical sharding you are splitting the column wise, that is user ID and username in one shard, and then user ID and user email in the another shard. Okay, this is the another way of performing the vertical sharding based on the convenient, whether it is feasible to go for horizontal sharding or the vertical sharding. And in the Hive environment, you can select a particular sharding method. And one more, the another type of sharding we have is key or hash based sharding. Here, a key value or the hash value will be generated for sharding purpose. Okay, so here you can see in this example, you will get the hash value, and this hash value will be functioned by, that is will be calculated with the hash function with the key value. That is, we'll be getting a key value, and you will be generating the hash value from this by using the hash function. So this hash value will be used for storing your the particular data or particular set of data in a particular server. Okay, so here these are the database server. In this example, there are 4 database servers are given: server 0, server 1, server 2, and server 3. Okay, then here you are generating the shard based on the key value. We have seen in the introduction slide itself. There, based on the key value, will be splitting into different shard. Similarly, here, based on the hash value is generated here, and here the key 0, key 1, key 2, key 3, and then key 4. So up to key 7, there are 7 value, 0 to 7 keys are generated, and based on the number of available server, the values are shared. Okay, the first key 0 is been stored in server 0, and then key 1 is server 1, and key 2 is in the server 2, key 3 in the server 3. Similarly, then again the remaining keys are stored again back to the server 0. Only we have 4 servers. Okay, so this is how we will do the load balancing. And here the drawback of this particular sharding method is, suppose if you are changing the number of server dynamically, and maybe the load balancing and then the key storage value may not be properly updated. Okay, this is the one type of sharding we'll use in the Hive environment. And then next to that, we have the one more type of sharding, that is directory-based sharding. Okay, so in the directory-based sharding, what you're doing, instead of using a key value or any other sharding mechanism, we'll have a directory type of structure where we'll store the sharding information. So based on the lookup details, so before you go for sharding, we'll just see the partitioning details in the directory. Okay, so that is in the directory based sharding partition involves placing a lookup service in the front of the shared databases. So how many number of shared databases are there? You have a lookup service. We will study about this lookup service. It is a kind of directory where you can just search a particular value where the particular set of data or the table should be saved in which particular shard or which particular node. Okay, so those type of details will be available in the lookup service. Okay, so this lookup service is implemented via web-based, okay, or web service based. This lookup service is implemented. Okay, you can see here you have the shared map manager. This map manager will be there. You have the shared related details here. Okay, so maybe the picture is not very clear, but again you can at least understand something. So database, you have the shared 1, shared 2, and shared 3, and this database you can see range 1000 to some range. Okay, so then again this particular shard is having some certain range of data here, and this shard is having certain range of data here. So in the lookup, which particular range if you are looking for, based on that data, or based suppose for example if your data is in a particular falls in particular range, and that particular range will be identified and will be forwarded by the shared map manager. Okay, so for example if you are looking, that is you are searching ranges between 200 to 300, and obviously this shared 3 is having this particular range. Okay, so then obviously from the lookup it will be directed to the shared map manager, and again from this you will be directed to the particular shard. Okay.
Hey there. Subscribe to my channel and also press this bell icon.